What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, I'm going to break down all of my trades from the morning. I'm sitting here in the green. This is my third day trading in Europe. The first day, I was up $65,000. Yesterday, I was up $14,000. That was my peak. Gave back some profit. Finished the day up like $4,000. That wasn't so exciting. Now today, I'm sitting up $67,000. So this feels good. Got a little momentum. And look at this. LCFY peaked at over 400% on the day. Incredible. Unbelievable. Huge price action. And this one really surprised me because although it had news at 8 a.m., I'll adjust my chart, it popped up and it sold off. And then out of nowhere right here, it rips back up through VWAP, squeezes up to 5, but there was a little problem here. You want to know what the problem was around 5? It was the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So you could see that was right here at about 522. So I thought, nah, I don't think that's going to be able to get over that level. But sure enough, it did. And it started to pull away really quickly right here from 5 all the way up to about 650. Dips down, rips back up. But here's something really interesting about this stock. A lot of topping tails. So while I did well on it, I wasn't able to do as well on it as I could have if it didn't have those topping tails. So when you have a topping tail like that, what's really going on? The price squeezes up and then comes right back down. So it pops up and then drops down. So if you're in for that pop, it's kind of hard to get out in that moment where it hits that high before it drops back down. And I usually don't end up getting out in the top of a candle wick. In fact, what's worse is that what I tend to do is I add as it's pulling away, thinking it's going to go like straight up parabolic. And then when it comes back down, I end up stopping out break even. Case in point, CYN from yesterday. So let's talk about CYN for a second. Yesterday, this thing squeezed up all the way to $40 a share, but I did not take any more trades on it. I told you guys I was done, and I was done. So later, when I saw that it had squeezed all the way up to 40, and then right here halted down with news of a secondary offering in the middle of the day and dropped and sold off even more, I just, on the one hand, felt FOMO that I missed this move, but on the other hand, felt like even if I had been here trading it, as I kind of zoomed in and looked at it, I thought, well, you know, we halted up twice, then we halted down twice at the open. Then this was sort of choppy. Then it pulls away and halts up. But you know, when it halts like that, because the halt levels could be so tight, I might not have been able to get in before the halt. It resumes and then sells off and halts down. Bounces up, pulls back, grinding, comes up to the double top of the new high. And here it pulls away into a halt up. But again, next thing you know, it's halted up. So you're sort of stuck. Then it pushes higher, but a topping tail right there. Drops back down, pops back up, another topping tail right here. Drops down, then squeezes instantly into a halt up, opens lower bottoming candle wick, then it pops into a second halt, pushes higher, topping tail, rallies back up, another topping tail, then it starts to unwind. And then it has the news of the secondary offering. So in total, I don't know if I would have really made all that much money in that price range. So today, funny enough, CYN comes up again. And I'm going to look at it on the 1-minute chart. I traded it again today, and I lost on it again today. My first trade on it was green. So this was the pre-market chart, peaked at 25, sold off, came back up, sold off, came back up, dipped down, came back up right here, dipped down, came back up, and right there I bought. I bought that micro pullback right there, and I jumped out, made money, profit, green trade. It was about $3,000. I was like, there you go, nice. All right, so you do know what you're doing. And then it comes up to $25, which was our pre-market high right here. And there was a seller at 25. It was 20,000 shares. It went 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I jumped in right there, 10,000 shares. I was like, here we go. It breaks. It goes up to 1050. I double my position. I'm like, here we go. We're going to 26, 27. It hits a high of 25.89. And then the bottom falls out and it drops right here to $23.85. And I lost 12 grand. So I went from up 3,000 to down $9,000 on the stock, losing on it 2 days in a row. in spite of it being up so much. How annoying. Well, I guess it could be worse. I was not in, fortunately, on this candle right here where they announced another offering. 2 secondary offerings in 2 days. One yesterday, another one today. So this company is milking it. They are just dumping shares on the market to raise money. So, you know what? It's going to go down as one of those stocks I just can't get on the right side of. Lost on it yesterday, lost on it today. It is what it is. By the way, there's my P&L. $67,300 even. Nice number. 41,000 on LCFY and 33,000 on BBLG. So BBLG is the stock that got me really nice and green on the day. And I peaked at about $38,000 on the day at my high after my green trade on CYN. And then from 38,000, I went to 26,000, losing 12 grand off the top. And at that point, I was like, should I walk away? And that's when LCFY hit the scanner, made 41,000, went from 26 on the day to 67 on the day. Well, actually, that's not true. I peaked at 82,000 and then gave back about 15,000 off the top. Well, can't complain. Green is good. Easy come, easy go. That's the deal. Trading is risky. We know that. So let's look at BBLG. BBLG is kind of interesting. It's a stock that has done a recent reverse split, as you can see back here. It's been trading on relatively light volume, and then all of a sudden it pops up here on news of a patent application. Now, patent applications are not usually the juiciest headlines, but all of a sudden this thing takes off and it starts to squeeze. So what we end up getting on it is a micro pullback right there. And because this thing had just gone from 3 all the way up to a high of 9, I was pretty aggressive. So I actually got this little micro pullback right in here first. That was my first trade in at about $7.11, taking profit out here up around 9, then adding back right here and taking profit up here, adding back down here on this dip, taking profit up here, and then it sort of failed. Tries to come back up, rejects. Tries to come back up, rejects, and then it dropped hard here. Now I got one more trade on it, which was down here off of, let's see, was it down here? It was actually right here on this candle. I got in as the MACD went from positive to negative. From negative to positive. Although we were below VWAP, I was looking for a curl back up to VWAP, and I made a couple $1,000 on that. And ended up rallying back here up to about $9. So got some trades on BBLG, HCWB. This one hit the scanners. Got a couple trades on that one. WFF. You know, it's light volume, somewhat recent pop. Can't really trust it. I saw it earlier and I said no. BGL, another weird one, very light volume. Couldn't really trust that. But LCFY, then LCFY, this one hit the scanners. First at 8 a.m., drops down. Then it comes back up on the scanner. All of a sudden, you know, with this surge right here at about 8:42. And at first I was like, I don't know, if this is going to work. I was sort of feeling a little frustrated that I had just lost 10 grand on CYN. But as it started to pop up and pull away, I gave it a stab. With my first entry at $3.63. So jumped in at 363, which was sort of right in this area. Kind of pops up. No, sorry. Where was 363? It was right about here. Pops up, get a little profit, 10 cents a share. Got in at 63, got out at 71. Got back in at 78, got out at 93. So jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. Got back in at 405, and all of a sudden it rips up to 580. And I was like, holy smokes, I made $10,000. And now I'm back to 38,000 on the day, just about 36,000. It drops down, pulls back, but I recognize the 200 moving average was right there. Then we curl back up, come back to the 200, reject. Well, we kind of broke it, but then we couldn't hold it. Then it comes back up again, and look at that big topping tail, right? So this is where things kind of got tricky because we kept having these topping tail candles. And so although I made some money on it as it rallied back up, I did give back some profit. I gave back profit in this area, trying to time the next leg higher, but it rejected. And I gave back about 17,000, which was kind of a bummer. Then going into the open, well, actually I gave back, I went from 82,000 to 65,000, and then I only made $2,000 after the opening bell. I just felt like this was too risky. These drops and pops and drops, I just felt like I couldn't manage my risk on it. And so I'm going to walk away here today with $67,000 of profit. I'm feeling pretty good. On the month, I've crossed over $1 million a bit earlier, I guess it was last week. So this doesn't include today, but just in the last 90 days, I'm up almost $3 million. Trading has been really hot. My calendar for the month of June here, one red day on the 9th, but just super solid trading. 1.16 million coming into today. Actually, that doesn't include yesterday, but I only made like $4,000. So now I'm going to be at 1.2 million, 1.22 million approximately. So, I've got my eyes, well, to be honest, we've only got one day left in the month. I don't really have my eyes set on anything. My goal was $1 million. I crossed that goal. Whatever I make, is going to just be what it is. And now I got to set the goal for July of $1 million, doing it again. So $250,000 a week. But as you can see, it comes in kind of bursts. 486,000 on the first week, 160 on the second, 440 on the third, and then this week's going to be like 130. So this week was slower. We had a slow day on Monday. Tuesday, I was in good shape until I lost, as you can see here. I went up 30,000, then went back to flat. And then Wednesday, my first day arriving here in Europe, despite, a red-eye flight, locked up 65,000. And then yesterday was dead. Today, surprise for a Friday, 67,000. That's solid. So Monday, who knows? Mondays have been hit or miss. Some big wins on Mondays, but also, some misses. So I don't know what we're going to get on Monday, but I'm going to show up. I'm going to be here bright and early streaming at 7 a.m. for members at Warrior Trading. So those of you guys that want to do a 2-week trial, if you haven't already, make sure you check it out. Link will be pinned to the top of the comments and in the description. I'll post a watch list on Sunday night, giving you my game plan for the week ahead and what stocks I'll be really paying close attention to on Monday morning. So stay tuned for that watch list on Sunday. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. A reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk and practice in a simulator before putting real money on the line. And with that, I'll see you back at it Monday morning.